Okay, so we're going to kind of think about that from more of a student perspective now. So we're both master's students, and my name's Alex, and I'm studying for the Masters in Medieval Studies.
And I'm Max, and I'm studying for the MA in Modern Contemporary Literature and Culture with Adam Kelly, who will be talking to you later about why it's so brilliant to be here.
So in terms of things that are kind of similar to your undergraduate degree, whether or not it was here or somewhere else, is that things are still kind of similar in that you have the same support from staff. You're not suddenly abandoned to your own research, you're not suddenly abandoned to everything. Office hours are still in place, and you also in first term you get that crucial procedural essay, which means you still get the same level of writing support as you do for your undergraduate, and you're not alone.
Yeah, and so basically just to follow on from that, like, it was just clear from Helen's talk just then how passionate actually the staff are about what they're doing and how they're doing, and everyone who's studied undergrad here I'm sure will have bridged that. If you go with a question to a staff office hour, they're engaged, they're keen to help you immediately. They'll often, like at master level I found, more often than not, they'll say, oh, I know someone halfway across the world who's writing on this, and like occasionally email them and say, okay, and then, oh, what you're saying is completely wrong, now think about it again and do this, which is quite a common experience, but it really helps kind of drive you to be better, because you always feel kind of they are completely invested in how well you're doing, and like Helen's saying, like, you enjoy reading the work and kind of actually kind of want to see the best come out in you, and that kind of comes out in kind of the sort of kind of seminars you have, where more and more you kind of have, whereas in undergrad occasionally you'll have somebody teaching you who is teaching it and they've taught it quite a few times. It's not necessarily their area of expertise. Quite often you'll get the people who are teaching master's courses have designed them, and it's working in the area they are working in right now, and they are pushing to getting you to push them and to feel like what you can actually bring to the discussion, which is always a really rewarding experience.
But coming in as a postgrad, you sort of leave your ties to like the University Student Union and your JCRCs, and you actually get closer ties with the Graduate Students Association, which are brilliant. There's loads of trips, there's loads of freebies. They come wandering around the library, the Berwick Hall building with coffee and hot chocolate and marshmallows, and they have quizzes all the time. There's loads and loads of other events. So there is a really solid postgraduate sort of community here at York, which isn't just specific to art students as well. That's sort of across the whole university. And that suddenly is available to you, and you have an entirely new Freshers Week, so it's kind of like going back to undergrad again. They organise this incredible week of stuff, so it means you can really, really get a feel for what it's like to be here in York and meet loads and loads of new people in quite a nice short sort of space of time. But also again, you have full access to the career service as well, which as an MA student, if you're not thinking PhD, the career service are here to help with everything from quickly looking over applications to telling you you're not doomed. They're there to help you, and you can still access one-to-one appointments with them throughout your whole MA.
Yeah, and then one thing as well, kind of in terms of the financial side of things as well, from like the student perspective, it is more than possible to have kind of a part-time job or a couple part-time jobs and keep on working at it. I mean, both me and Alex did, in terms of like the university employment stuff, we both did UCall, which is like the calling thing to alumni, and that's kind of way, now that's, you can easily fit that around your studies. Got friends who have part-time jobs working in town and stuff like that, like people do in undergrad, so it's not kind of, you don't suddenly have no time like you used to have in your undergrad degree and you've got to worry about money all the time. You can find time to have these kind of like external things, and like Alex was saying, that time also enables you to get involved in societies as broadly as possible. We were both as the postgraduate reps for Literature Society, which is just such a rewarding kind of exciting, get like loads and loads of people kind of coming to and getting things happening at the university. But so while those are kind of things that have all like stayed the same, like quite a lot, they're things you might be relatively used to already. And like I say, the English course is actually relatively similar structured, because the undergrad is actually structured almost like a mini kind of research kind of program, really. So it basically is, you have two modules first term, two modules second term, both of which have an essay due in for the first day of the next term, similar to undergrad, and then a long dissertation goes all the way to September to 15,000 to 20,000 words. Adam will explain this in more detail, I'm sure. But kind of so that's kind of like a similar kind of course structure. But kind of obviously there are certain things which do change, because you're taking a new step up in kind of the university ladder, and so really the emphasis I find on master's thing is it's much more, even more so than you can in undergrad, it's very much about building your own degree. You look at kind of what's available, you can, obviously you still have the topic choices, but let's say you can do things like audit a module if you really need to, which means you kind of do all the seminars and reading for that module but don't have to do the assessment. And that can be really helpful if you're thinking like, I'm kind of interested in thinking about this maybe for my dissertation in the long run, but I've already got these two modules on one that I really want to do, and you can kind of do that on the side as long as it is a substantial work commitment, but it's something that is able to do.
And also continuing on from that, there's such an increased interdisciplinarity in the department. So I'm actually studying for one of the interdisciplinary MAs, but within our own friendship group of master's students, we have friends that are studying in history of art, studying from such a wealth of the degrees. So some of our friends do film and literature. I'm a medievalist. It's really, really nice to have that really dynamic sort of social atmosphere that the department really does help to create. But also, you're really, really encouraged to go to other departments' events as well. They always come with free wine at the end, so there's always that little incentive as well. But you've been to some music research seminars, the history research seminars are fantastic, and they're just a really, really great way to see what's going on outside of the English literature bubble. And it can really, really affect your own research as well.
And then, a side point to that is, if you think at the moment in undergrad degree you get quite a few emails coming through, just wait. You check, you refresh your emails in the morning, you're like, okay, you've got 10 minutes, like getting rid of, like, find out what you want to go to, and like the calendar fills up very, very, very quickly. And so like I said, there's lectures, there's the research seminars, but there's also workshops as well, which are run through the HRC, which is a fantastic interdisciplinary resource. So we went to an amazing one, which was run by Bill Sherman, who used to be in the English department, and he now works at the V&A in London, and he did this incredible workshop, which was really dynamic, and it's a really, really a pleasure of an experience to do, is to be able to work with someone on such a kind of close basis and be able to really challenge yourself in a workshop environment as opposed to just plain lectures, which is great. And then, as Helen brought around her talk as well, you get to do it all in this kind of amazing building, which is just working here, especially because we both came from doing undergrads at York. It enables you to you can leave the kind of meltdowns you had in the library and work here, and like you just can't like displace yourself to here. And it's a really good working environment. It's completely silent, and you're around kind of PhD students or master students who are all getting on with their work. But then you come out into the foyer, and like Helen said, it's always people sitting around talking about what they're doing, or like sitting around having a cup of tea, having lunch. Like and there's Cake Thursday every Thursday as well. It is actually amazing. And you can book any of the spaces in this building if you need to for like group presentation or anything like that, and there's a free timetable slot. So it's a building that is completely structured to and for the needs you have while doing your research, which is just virtually unique in this country actually, and kind of the ability to have like your own little space in the corner.
And if you want to set up a reading group, there's loads and loads of space for you to do that. So in the medieval things, we have loads and loads of different literature reading groups. You go to the Freedom After Neoliberalism one. There's so many reading groups that are available as well, but many students just set up their own, even as coming in as a master's student. If there's a particular author you really love reading, people just set up their own reading groups, which you can do at any point.
Like Maddie, who's a PhD student, just set up one the other thing, it's called Queer and Now, which is just a phenomenal name for a reading group. But yeah, that's pretty much us. I think that's like, as I say, we really enjoy being here, and we enjoyed being here for undergrad so much we stayed on. As there's quite a few people do that, which I think is a symbol of how good a place this is to be and study. But if there's anything we haven't covered or anything else you want to talk about, then come find us afterwards. We'll be around upstairs pitching our various MAs.
And we also want to pitch at 6 o'clock. Tabish, the writer in residence, is doing a talk as well, and he's fantastic. We're both actually enlisted on the creative writing course with him, and he's doing a talk this evening on death of the author, and he's fantastic. So please do come. Fantastic, thank you.